Every game in this World Series so far, except for the first one, was quite a blowout. Well, now so is this one. Game 6 of the 2013 World Series. Bottom of the 5th, and the Red Sox are up 6-0. Yes, I don't know how it happened either. They figured out how to hit. Stephen Drew even chipped in a home run. Go figure, I wasn't filming for that. And here we are in the bottom of the 5th, just about halfway through this game. Stephen Drew looks at a ball. Obviously, they're not going to pitch to him now. He's suddenly good. Kevin Segrist. Red Sox fans might remember him giving up the home run to Johnny Gomes in Game 4. All right, so Drew's on a hot streak now. He's won for his last 2. And I would not want to be Segrist right now. Or any of the Cardinals, really, because they're done. They're done. Well, maybe not. You know what? These games are never over, especially with the Red Sox and just obstruction and everything being what it is. You never know. It's 2-1 now. You know, obviously some insurance would be nice. 6-0 lead. Still, you know, they could hit a 6-run home run at any time, the Cardinals. So, here we go. Given the score of the game and just kind of the sensational feeling that is already sinking in, which is that the Red Sox are indeed 4.5 innings away from their first world title since 2007 and their first home win in the World Series to clinch the series since 1918. Considering all that is on the table, I'm probably going to spend more time talking about that than the fairly predictable game going on behind me as the count goes to 3-2. And really, this season has been anything but predictable. The Boston Red Sox, when the season started, were expected to be a last-place team, maybe contend for, third place or a wild card. Even I didn't see them going this far, and I thought they were going to perform above their talent, and they certainly have done that. And the funny thing is, he's not going to get another hit. So anyway, 1 out. The funny thing is, with the Red Sox, the whole season really, from Game 1 of the season against the Yankees, it's been ridiculous as they're showing some highlights of the postseason. And I think my TV froze, but that's all right. I'll keep talking. Since Game 1 of the season, the Red Sox have outperformed everyone's expectations. They came with an aggressive style. They pitched well. They hit well when needed. And they've been under constant scrutiny, and almost rightfully so, you want to say. The Cup has a head. That's awesome. Anyway, there are some unlikely heroes in this Red Sox team. For whatever reason, one of them is the bullpen Cup. But anyway, the Red Sox, as I mentioned, all season long, even if they had a long winning streak, it was at some point they're going to fade. Tampa Bay came on pretty strong. Tampa Bay actually had the lead in the division for a couple weeks or so. And it was all right, here it goes. The Red Sox, well, golly, gosh darned it, they're a bunch of nice guys, but they just don't have what it takes to compete in the American League or for the World Series. And sure enough, month after month went by. They had kind of a rough May. I think they were .500 that month. And you go through the season from there, they had a couple scuffles. They had some losing road trips. And, they had a 1-game lead, 2-game lead in the division. You were just thinking at some point. But then middle of August on, they really just kind of took care of business. I mean, it's not that they went on a long, dominant run. No. In fact, this team has not been necessarily dominant, but you look at their resume over the long haul, going up to the World Series. I mean, they won 97 games somehow. They never lost 3 games in a row. They never lost more than 3 games in a row, I should say. So this team, when they did lose, they put it behind them very quickly. Very professional team, but also a team that really gets along. And you can see that after every achievement, after every failure, they're in it together. And this team has stayed together, kept that attitude, not just for the first week of the season, not just for the first few months, but they are in the World Series. They are in Game 6 of the World Series, a deciding game, and they are leading their opponent by 6 runs. And this is not just any opponent. Okay, in all seriousness, I've kind of had some fun with the Cardinals throughout this series. The St. Louis Cardinals are a world-class organization. Win or lose, they will be back on the stage, will the Cardinals. If not next year, then the year after. I mean, the Cardinals are contenders. And the Cardinals, as they get the second out of the inning, so I'm going to kind of try and wrap this up. The Cardinals, they've won the World Series in 2006, 2011, so I don't really feel that bad for them for losing this World Series. They're going to win their share of World Series. They draft well. They don't make a lot of ridiculous trades unless, not ridiculous, but they do make some trades. They're very well-managed, well-put-together team. I'm not just saying that. Some years you look at teams, like even the Giants, who won the World Series last year and in 2010. Not that they're a bad put-together team, but there are some teams that just kind of surprise you. Obviously, this being one of them, the Red Sox. But the Cardinals and a few other teams are very consistent. It just goes to show you how hard it is to get to this stage. And the Red Sox are making the most of it. David Ortiz being one of the longest tenured, well, easily the longest tenured member of the club, considering he's been there since the first world title in '04. I mean, I'm just getting emotional just thinking about it. Red Sox are actually 4 innings away from their 8th all-time World Series title, their 3rd in the last 10 years. I mean, what else do you say? I mean, was this a team that anybody saw coming as far as, you knew Ellsbury, you knew Pedroia, you knew some of the team, the core that they had. But did anyone think it would be this easy? Not easy, but that it would be a matter of just adding some, decent players and then you have a World Series team after this same team performed so poorly last year? Again, I mean, not a knock on Victorino, Napoli, or the guys they brought in, but did anyone think those were the differences? That those acquisitions, Johnny Gomes, Ryan Dempster, so many players they acquired that go under the radar. David Ross, who's starting in this game, was kind of just one of those acquisitions that went under the radar. Oh, wait a minute, he bobbled it, and he is safe. All right, the inning keeps going. That's what I mean. That is literally what I mean. In a 6-0 game, obviously it's a World Series, but still, in a 6-0 game, Ellsbury is hustling down the line like it's a 1-0 game. And I mean, he beat that throw just barely. And I'm not saying, any player's going to hustle in the World Series, but, the Red Sox just have that attitude, like, they're going to run until they're done. And even then, I mean, whatever the score is, if they're up 8, down 8, they're going to play the same way. Pedroia, kind of the leader of this team, maybe not so much with his bat this year, but defensively he's made a lot of great plays. Very reliable player. And I remember, and again, this was kind of a low moment. It's kind of hard to believe, actually, that it was the same series now. But when the Red Sox lost Game 3, that big controversy with the obstruction call, right? And the Red Sox lost. It felt like a really down moment. It was like the Red Sox played so hard and still lost. Like, you kind of felt like the Cardinals maybe had some momentum. That was their second win in a row. And Pedroia, during the postgame interview, said, and I will always remember this, even if it didn't come to this, but, Ellsbury's calling a rundown. Well, all you got to do is hit the guy not with the ball. It's obstruction. Obstruction. Go back to first. Obstruction. Hit another ball. It's obstruction. It's obstruction. That's it. They obstructed him. Obstruction is in motion. Wow, that was weird. I was just talking about that moment. So, like I was saying, Dustin Pedroia said that, I've never seen somebody work so hard to get back to the base they started on. But anyway, I digress. Dustin Pedroia said after that game, after the obstruction bullshit happened and all that, that this was not going to define their team. Some wild play at the end of a game, like they were going to be better than that. They were going to win the games regardless. And I even thought so. Just the way he said it, the way Pedroia said it. Everybody else was very professional in the clubhouse. Not that they shouldn't have been, but, they were like kind of just steady. We're going to keep playing. Pedroia was very firm in his stance. That some bullshit call is not going to be how the Red Sox are remembered. It's not going to be just some crazy collapse. And to this point, they've stood by it. 3 games later, and who the hell cares about the obstruction call besides me and some other Red Sox fans? And here we are, bottom of the 5th. Ellsbury hustling to get back to first. Looks like he got obstructed at some point. Doesn't matter, still made it back. And Pedroia's at the dish. I don't know what's going to happen, but again, he's going to give it his all. And that the fact that little folly, just the way he said it, that little folly is not going to define our team. And what will define this team is most likely the grit that they play with, the fact that they win, the fact that they have talent, the fact that they have heart, the fact that they are Boston strong. That's what will be remembered about this team more than anything. The fact that David Ortiz, at his age and just so many contributions that he's made to this organization, the fact that he's about to make another one with this World Series title. To me, that goes so much further than some bullshit that might have kept some other teams down. So, good for him, and they're still trying to get Ellsbury. Well, whatever. Your guy already got picked off for the Cardinals. That guy Juan, I don't know what his name is, but he got picked off. Poor kid. He was obstructed. What are you going to do? So, again, nothing to take away from the Cardinals. Like I said, they'll probably be back in the World Series sometime soon. And the Red Sox, I joked around about what they're going to do next year. I really don't know, to be honest. This is a very special team, obviously. It's not that easy to come back, even with the same roster. can do similar things. And Pedroia hits one up. Looks like it's going to be caught. But I'm glad I had this moment to kind of talk, because I don't talk enough in these videos. 6-0 going in to the 6th inning in Game 6. Let's see what's going on.